I kick ass for the Lord.
Good evening, Simon here, Explosive Action. I'm back again with a DVD and Blu-ray movie update video. Been some time since I've done one of these. It's been a gradual process of pre-orders coming in, a few sale items and things like that. That December-January period, usually a lot of pre-orders rather than things arriving, but I do have some stuff to show, so we're going to take a look at that. In the background we are listening to Blood Freak Multiplex Massacre. It's Razorback Records, Death Thrash, Death Grind from mid-2000s, I think, maybe 2010 even, 2008, 2009, something like 2007, there you go, close enough. Horror-themed, as you can tell by the intro track in the background as well. We're going to check the first pile of DVDs. There's only 3 DVDs to look at first. This one I found in a charity shop. I've been looking at this film for years, never actually watched it. DOA. Dead or Alive. Based on the PlayStation 2 game, I have been told it's fun and stupid, and that's about all I really want. I want that cover. I want girls kicking ass, action, fights, and I mean, I remember with the game, you had the fights. Actually, am I thinking of the volleyball one? There was a DOA volleyball I remember playing, where you played volleyball, but then there was this part of the game where the girls gifted each other presents, like jewellery and things. Anyway, that was a strange game, but maybe the original DOA was a bit more fight-based. Anyway, that's what the film's based on. And it's one of those ones that like I keep seeing in charity shops and things, but it's always ex-rentals in terrible condition. This one's mint. So, yeah, there you go. I'm going to check out DOA. This one I've been trying to find on eBay for a very long time. It's very much out of print. This is Slayer. It is a Kevin Van Hook film. And it stars Casper Van Dien, and that is why I'm here. It's also why I'm here because it's a Sci-Fi Channel film, which means it goes on the Sci-Fi Channel shelf. And that's enough reason. But anyway, it's obviously vampires, and I've never seen it, but I've been told it's really good. So, yeah, not much else to say about it, except for that it is incredibly hard to find local DVD. Not too sure why that is. It's in a later Anchor Bay, so they've got the changed logo. If that'll focus, I don't know. But, yeah, I expect it to be entertaining. Casper Van Dien, you've got people from Wonder Woman and Underworld, and yeah, but it's all about the Casper, isn't it? So there you go, Slayer. Here's a very, very early Sci-Fi Channel film, around about 1997, 98. It's called The Colony. I gave this one a watch, and I was really entertained. It's a alien invasion, sort of, but it's about the crew of aliens that arrive on Earth to sort of check the place out before the invasion comes. And of course, because it's a cheap film, they take on human form in biomechanical sort of human suits, making the budget a lot cheaper. And yeah, they interrogate a few humans, and one of the aliens in a human suit sort of starts to feel sorry for the humans. There's a bit of a plot going on there. It's not massively action heavy, except for the last act when it's sort of the escape from the spaceship. But it was really entertaining and well thought out, and there's a lot of really cool sort of conversations between the aliens as they're talking about their plans. So yeah, you can find this for a couple of bucks, The Colony. It's also called The Advanced Guard, is the other name of this film. And yeah, it's from like 97, 98, Trimark Pictures with Sci-Fi Channel. So yeah, worth checking out, definitely. That's the DVDs. Onto the Blu-rays now. The first one, really, really happy to get this one. The Curse of Frankenstein, 1957. Very early Frankenstein film. This one is with Peter Cushing, of course, as Dr. Frankenstein, and Christopher Lee as the monster. It's kind of hard to tell it's him under the makeup, and he's a lot younger, but it's definitely him. Really, really cool. I hadn't seen this edition of the film before. Follows the standard, Frankenstein monster plot, but with a bit more of the macabre, digging digging up bodies, parts, and assembling bits and pieces. There's a bit more focus on that. And it's just a lot of fun. And of course, Christopher Lee, as Frankenstein's monster, sort of goes bananas and turns on the creator and all that kind of thing. Top quality early Hammer. The picture quality is pretty good. It's the best it's been, that's for sure. Obviously, being a 50s Hammer film, the quality's not going to be up there with some of the later productions, but it's the best it's ever going to look. It's quite sharp. You get multiple discs, you get multiple ways of watching it. You get the 1.85 to 1 version and the 1.66 to 1 version, which is what I watched. Both restored and remastered from 4K scans, audio commentaries. Oh, there's an audio open matte version, 137 to 1. I didn't watch that. That's also from a new scan. Whole bunch of new features that were made, and it's on 2 discs, so pretty all-encompassing. It's really cool to see Warner Archive doing multi-disc releases. So highly recommend Curse of Frankenstein, and you can get it really quite cheap on Amazon. So, man, I'm stoked about this one. This came out a while ago, but is one of those Ronin Flicks Scorpion titles that is a pain in the ass to get hold of in Australia because Ronin won't ship to us, and the only people that do is Diabolic, and it's kind of useless to place a 1 DVD or 1 Blu-ray order with Diabolic. You need to have 3 or 4 things to make the shipping worthwhile, but I finally did, and we get POW The Escape. Awesome jungle action from David Carradine. It's a canon film. It's just like Missing in Action 2 with Chuck Norris. It's David Carradine's version of that. I've always enjoyed this film. It's never had a DVD. It's had a Laserdisc, which is what I had until just recently, and VHS, of course. But now it's got a proper Blu-ray. I just wish it was a wider release because you can't jump on Amazon and just buy this. So people need to know to go to Ronin Flicks to get it. I don't really understand the decisions that are made with Scorpion and what titles go through Kino, what titles go through Ronin. I wish they were all Kino because you just get them on Amazon and they cost 2/3 of the price, and the shipping is free with Prime. Anyway, definitely worth the wait. Absolutely love this one. Shot in the Philippines, jungle action with David Carradine doing his Chuck Norris. Good stuff. 3 Andy Sidaris, and I now finally have all the 12 of the Andy Sidaris Blu-rays. Hurrah! These ones I had to get through deep discount because Amazon never got them. I don't know what happened there. Amazon US had them through third party, and Amazon Australia just didn't have them. So, Enemy Gold. So there you go. Go for the gold. Chicks, guns. Chicks with guns. Awesome. A boat. The Dallas Connection. Chicks, guns. Chicks with guns. A boat, probably. And the last one, Do or Die, Chicks, Guns, and a bald-headed man. This one looks entirely hilarious, so yeah. I've not watched any of these 3. I've watched some of the Sidaris ones, but I intend on sitting down and watching all 12 Sidaris in a row at some point and letting my brain melt out my ear. It's going to be a glorious time. The latest Scott Adkins, Max Cloud. It will surprise you to note I haven't actually put this one on yet. This looks to be one of his passion projects again. He's done a few like that. It's obviously an action comedy, sci-fi action comedy. It seems really fun. The trailer is a lot of fun. Max Cloud, as he is shown there, is a character in a video game, and the kid here sort of enters the world of the game. And I think Max Cloud sort of helps her on an adventure or something along those lines within the game. So a bit of Tron, I suppose. Yeah, this looks good fun. I love the cover art too. It's really pretty looking edition. Nice 8-bit art there on the disc. I have read some, not so brilliant things about it, but it's Scott Adkins. I have to have it. I will watch it. I'm sure I'm going to enjoy it. So there you go, Max Cloud. Let me know if you've seen it. 2 films that are related here. I'm going to actually flip these around. Skyline. The first Skyline. Australian Blu-ray. Very hard to get, but I found it finally on eBay for a $12 price, which is good because it usually goes for triple that, if not more. Out of print since 2007 or something along those lines. So, this is the film that started the now trilogy of Skyline films. This is the big budget one, sort of an effects reel. and I had always put it off because I'd heard it was just an FX reel and the story was crap. I really enjoyed Beyond Skyline, the direct-to-video sequel from a couple of years ago. That one was a Mark Grillo, I think is his name, and it had the guys from The Raid were in it. That was action heavy. It got an MA, so it was gory of violence. But this one, not bad, is what I'll say. It's not brilliant. I mean, the other one is much better. This one, I think the M rating spoils it. M being PG-13 in the US, basically. You can only do so much. So it's still cool. It's still got the big spaceships that arrive, and then the alien sort of robot things that harvest human brains. They just rip them out of the body and then stick them in these robots, and then the robot comes to life and whatever. But they turn the camera a bit and they put like a lens flare in the road, and you can't see all the good bits, which you can in the sequel Beyond Skyline. And the film kind of just ends, like they invade the spaceship, like Independence Day, and it then sort of like they do a high five on the spaceship kind of thing, and the credits roll. Like, oh, which then leads you into the sequel. But at the time, that would have just left you hanging dry, and it was a pretty unfulfilling ending. But not too bad. I won't go back to this one as much as the others. Definitely a case of lowering the budget and putting more effort into the action, improve this series. Which then takes us to the latest one, Skylines. Also written in other territories as, I think, Skyline 3, Skylines, like the S is a 3. This was great, just like the second one, even more exciting. Highly recommend it, particularly if you like the second one. But if you just want, you don't really need to know the context. You don't have to know the whole story. You can just watch it as a film. So at this point, the sort of alien, robot-y hybrid things are living among us with the human brains in them, but the evil switch has been turned off, right? So we're keeping the people alive in their new bodies. But this is the film that I think, if Independence Day had a part 3, so we had part 2, and part 2 ended when they went, they defeated the aliens for a second time, and then there was the mission to go to the aliens' home planet and take them on. That's this mission in this film, is that, okay, we've defeated them on Earth, let's take the fight to them. Skylines, or Skyline 3. Good fun, and much more on the, when they take the brain out of the human, just rip, gory stuff. Very effective. So this girl here has sort of hybrid special powers, and that helps take down the aliens, and good fun. Highly recommended. Skylines. Next one in this pile, this is The Doorman, and this was recommended to me, so it's the next film, recommended to me by Extra the Mutilator in his video. I will link it below. And I also finally got off my ass and did a review, first time in a while. I will also link my review to this on explosiveaction.com. That is a plug. This is my channel. I will plug my own blog. This was great. Really, really solid. I like Die Hard clones, and this is Ruby Rose does Die Hard in a hotel tower. And I really enjoyed it. She's ex-Marine, has a bit of PTSD. Takes a job as a doorman for this hotel. That bit's actually quite silly. Like, why would you go from that to anyway? So she's the doorman for this hotel. Turns out there's a family in the hotel that she's related to the guy through cousin, some kind of relationship, or married in. I can't remember exactly. And then you get sort of that classic story of the thieves, the heist that's coming into the hotel, and she ends up protecting the family through John McClane-isms, and there's all kinds of ass-kicking machine guns, bazookas, fist fights, interesting deaths with electricity. I thought this was great fun. It's got Jean Reno, of course. He adds a touch of class to it. He spends most of the film drinking wine and barking orders, and that's fine. It comes in a slip that's exactly the same as the cover underneath. Very cheap on Amazon. Again, review is below. If you like that, check out the film. It gets an R in the States for violence throughout, language, and brief teen drug use. Yes, one of the kids smokes a joint. Oh dear, we better write that down. But anyway, Good stuff, nice and fun, violent action. And this one, also from Extra the Mutilator, have not put this one on yet. Disturbing the Peace, I believe what he was saying, this is kind of like a Walking Tall kind of story, with Guy Pearce here doing the sort of sheriff kind of role. A small town, hasn't carried a gun since he left the Texas Rangers after tragic shooting, must pick up his gun again to do battle with a gang of outlaw bikers that have invaded the town. It's Walking Tall. I reckon it'll be good. He says it's really good. He's asking for me to watch it and then give my feedback on it, so I will do that very shortly. On to the second pile now. We got some Vinegar Syndrome. I got in the December lot. The first one here, Fade to Black, 1980 slasher film. This one had a DVD on Anchor Bay many moons ago, probably solid 20 years ago now, if give or take a few years. This is a fun, kind of forgotten slasher because of the time between releases. Nice slip there. There's the alternate cover. I don't like the alternate cover too much. I prefer this sort of classic that was on the old Anchor Bay release. The film's about a kind of eccentric, what do you call it, projectionist at a cinema who gets more and more into, as it shows there, he starts sort of dressing up as characters when he does his job. Ends up getting a bit twisted, ends up becoming a sort of a killer dressed up as this, as the characters. So, people used to laugh at Eric Binford. Now with every performance he knocks them dead. There's the byline. Good stuff. Packed with a few features. Has really good transfer. Only popped it on for me a few minutes to check the transfer. I need to give this another watch. It's been some time. So yeah, Fade to Black, nice upgrade. This one here, this is Dimensions Occultas, but that is better known as Don't Panic. A Mexican, is it Mexican or just Spanish? I think it's Mexican. Mexican horror from, what year is this? 1987. Kind of a delirious slasher, this one. It's like a pretty crazy version of A Nightmare on Elm Street. It's the back of the slip, back of the cover there. I haven't seen this since VHS days. I can't remember who released the tape here. Might have been like Applause home video. No, not Applause. Prestige. Might have been a Prestige tape. But yeah, this is restored in 4K scan from the 35mm original negative and has the English and Spanish tracks. So looking forward to checking out Don't Panic again. Very cool. VS are really hitting it out of the park. And this is one which, this needed to be archived. We need to get a better version of it. Not a brilliant film, but I'm still very happy to have it. This is Silent Madness. A fairly forgotten slasher because it's kind of boring. It's got some cool moments. It starts off in a sort of a mental institute. And this is, there's the original poster art. I love that they, in this instance, that the cover here and the poster are the same, because this is, the best thing about the film is the poster. It always has been. Everybody's always been keen to see it because of that poster. It's pretty amazing. And you get 2 sets of 3D glasses, the old-fashioned red and blues, which I won't be trying, because putting them over these glasses, not good fun. But there is a 2D edition of it. 2 different discs there. Both blues. One's the 3D, one is the 2D, and oh, that's right. So there's both 3Ds. There's digital 3D if you've got a 3D TV and proper glasses. Then there's the Anaglyph 3D, and then there's just 2D. So they've gone all out on a film that doesn't really deserve it, but in other ways it kind of does deserve it, because it's been largely forgotten. Silent Madness. I will check it out again because I haven't seen it since the VHS. I did get a DVD a couple of years ago. I would have shown on the channel. A German DVD, and I was excited to watch that because it said it was widescreen. That was a piece of garbage. That was a 4x3 VHS scan, zoomed in and then cropped to fit, a widescreen TV. Absolute trash. But this release, of course, looks amazing from the negatives. Silent Madness in 3D if you choose. If you were going to ask me what film would never come onto Blu-ray, the answer was going to be Action USA. Cannot believe this is on Blu-ray and that I'm holding it. More than that, I cannot believe that MVD have already announced their version of the Blu-ray. We are now in a year where we have 2 Blu-rays of Action USA. Mental stuff. This is one of those films that gives you exactly what it says on the tin. Explosions, cheap 80s action. Man, I even got a poster for this thing. Vinegar Syndrome, just crazy stuff. So, I'll read you from the back. Small-time drug dealer Billy Ray Cyrus, along with his girlfriend, kidnapped by a duo of thugs working for a ruthless mobster named Frankie Navarro. Gangster is after a cache of diamonds, and when Billy is killed, girlfriend Carmen is placed under protective FBI custody, blah, 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 blah. It's up to the FBI agents to get her out of Texas. And you get a bit of a road trip, you get exploding cars, I think there's exploding helicopters, there's exploding friggin' everything. Look at the cover. Yeah, so this was an old Palace VHS that I had. And I hung on to it because I never thought it would ever get an upgrade. And we have not one but 2 Blu-rays. Amazing stuff. This is on the VSA sub-label of Vinegar Syndrome. So yeah, those really cool vertical cases. Love them. Next one is another film that I expected for a long time that we might get a release, and then it was announced a good 3 or 4 years ago, maybe even 5 years ago, that a Blu-ray was coming. It was coming from a different label. I can't remember who they were. I think that label went bankrupt. Long story short, it's been a long time waiting to get Massacre at Central High. This is a pretty early sort of slasher. Yeah, it's been finally put out by Synapse in one of their ridiculously over-the-top expensive steelbooks. So you get the slip, which is really cool, uncovering the steelbook underneath. As I mentioned before, I've gone really off steelbooks. Every time you breathe on them, they scratch. But I can't even show that. I have to put my fingers over it. There's boobies on the disc. How cool is that? But they put them in protective slips, so that's fine. Yeah, so what year was this from? 1976. Yeah, it's really early, so it's not quite slasher, but it's got slasher tendencies. Many people don't like it. I thought it was really good fun. It's kind of a... it is really a slasher. I mean, it follows a lot of the same tropes, but it's... I guess you can't really call it part of the original slasher cycle or anything like that, but yeah, Massacre at Central High, high school-based horror film, we'll go with that. And yeah, good fun. Haven't checked out this transfer yet. So this is one that I had on a terrible old Vipco DVD. Looked like absolute pants. And yeah, well, whoop, I can't even show you the back. It's just boobies everywhere. Synapse and their boobies. But anyway, cool upgrade. Onto the special editions here. We've got 2 media books. From Das Fatherland, we have Brothers in Blood. Jungle action, maybe a shot in Philippines, I can't remember actually. But it's got Bo Svensson. And it's either like Italian action, might be Italian action, I can't actually remember. Director's name is not written on here. If it was, it'd all be in German anyway. Oh yeah, Tonio Valeri, there you go, that's Italian. So Italian action. Possibly or possibly not shot in the Philippines, or many of them were. Haven't checked this one out yet, but it's been on my list for a long time. Just another one of those Hutsploitation Vietnam War style action films from the 80s. And a very cheap Blu-ray. This one can be found on eBay for the 30 to 35 Australian mark, which is very cheap. There you go. Poster. The usual German text and stuff you can't read. You get posters and you do get nice photos. You just can't read it unless you know the lingo. Yeah, some more photos and things. And you get the Blu-ray. Now, the Blu-ray is apparently in 1:3:1 full screen. Don't know if that's how it was shot. Sometimes the German releases, they just use what they can. They don't go out of their way to make a new scan or anything. If they happen to have access to a film copy that was full screen, well, then that's what they're going to use, and they put out a media book. So I don't know, but still, it's really nice. The print is good. It's just in full screen. English audio, obviously, as an option, as well as German. Has a feature, but I don't know if it was English friendly. So anyway, very cool. Brothers in Blood, jungle exploitation there. This was a load of fun. I've never seen this one before. I am a complete convert to this film. Wizards of the Lost Kingdom. This is a 80, what year is this? mid-80s, I guess. Probably like 85 or something. Sword and sorcery fantasy film, but I guess they designed this one for kids. There's some scenes that probably shouldn't have been for kids, but in general, this was an absolute belter of a film. Roger Corman produced this. I think it's got scenes stolen from Deathstalker. Well, not stolen, that was Roger Corman. He just likes to reuse stuff. I had a whale of a time with it. So Bo Svensson again, 2 films in a row with 2 German Blu-rays. He plays like the brawn, the guy with the sword. This kid here, whose name is Simon, in pink shirt. I don't have any pink shirts, but anyway, he does. He's the wizard of this lost kingdom. And yeah, him and Bo meet up on this adventure, and like every 3 minutes there is another, poor quality Jim Henson's kind of creature, like a leftover suit from Star Wars kind of deal, and it's just so much fun. I just kept laughing more and more, laughing with it. I'm not laughing at it. It's not one of those, riff tracks kind of things, but I was just having a whale of a time with this thing. It moves at a fair clip. It's only 79 minutes. So yeah, super fast, tightly packed. Lots of overacting. The main bad guy, he's there. Probably won't be able to see it very well. I don't know his name. He's the crazy manic king, and it's all sort of about getting this gem ring with a gem on it that has magical powers before he gets it. It's got dragons. It's got a deadite army of raised skeletons, and some of the plot is just so it's just so ridiculous. Like they do effects for the sake of effects. Like that deadite army, this Simon kid raises it. He says, "Oh, well, we need help. I'm going to raise the army of the dead." He raises the army of the dead. 20 seconds later, Bo Svensson cuts all the heads off, and then Simon says, "Sorry," and it's such a strange scene, and it was purely just so they could get an army of the dead into the film. It's got flying winged creatures. It's got really cool, cheesy sort of like lasers shot from rings, like glowing swords, all that kind of stuff. A bit like Conquest, Lucia Fulci's Conquest. So much fun. I nearly went and watched it the second time. Little things I kept picking up, like attention to detail that they didn't have at the time, like knights that had their helmets skew-if, so you just sort of laughing at how inept the knight looks. So there are things to laugh at, but there's a hell of a lot to just laugh with, and Wizards of the Lost Kingdom, lots of fun, and I imagine if I grew up watching this, I'd be watching it more of a nostalgic piece, but having never watched it, I'm watching it as an adult going, this is just fantasy popcorn, and it's pretty ridiculous, and it does what Roger Corman does, so yeah, really happy to pick this one up. Came out in 2019, Amazon Australia sells this German media book for, I paid $36 in prime shipping. It goes between that and $40, really cheap, and very unusual to see a German media book on Amazon, Amazon Australia anyway, so very cool, and that it's still in stock after, a year and a half, so yeah, there you go. Blu-ray, DVD, English friendly, it's all you need to know, very good stuff, excellent picture quality too. Next one's another Vinegar Syndrome, but I piled it into the box sets. Absolutely ridiculous edition of Beastmaster. Look, everyone's probably shown this by now, but let's see, how do you open it again? I always forget. So, there you go, there's the box. It opens up like here, and insane design in there. The slipcover edition, you get a little ribbon to pull it out, which is just crazy, double-sided. You get a book, which I will try to get out without tearing. You get a book, and pop that up there. Book with art and just the attention to detail for Beastmaster. Absolutely amazing. Everybody knows Beastmaster. It's one of the most well-known of the sort of sword and sorcery fantasy films about, what's his name? I've just completely gone and forgotten what his name is. Let's get the slip out, remind myself. It is... I'm going to kill myself when I see it. Well, it's filmed by Don Coscarelli from Phantasm, so that's why it's got sort of the reputation of the film that it is. And it stars... Where is his name? Mark Singer. God, there you go, Mark Singer. I can't believe I forgot that, but anyway. It looks amazing. And not only is this a Blu-ray, but as you can tell, it's 4K. Yeah, Vinegar Syndrome, man. You've got the rest of the world, the larger companies. Oh, we're not going to do Blu-rays anymore. Nobody buys them. We're just going to do a cheap DVD. And then you have Vinegar Syndrome putting Beastmaster on Ultra 4K. But of course, I don't do for Ultra 4K, but it does have a Blu-ray in the case. Little thing that's come off here. So there's the 4K, which I don't need, but there you go. There's the Blu-ray. And a second Blu-ray with an alternate new visual effects version, which I didn't check out. I watched the original, as that is how I saw it all that time ago. So insane Beastmaster release, insane. 2 more box sets to look at now. 1 Blu-ray, 1 DVD. First one here, another Vinegar Syndrome. This is Forgotten Jali Volume 2. I'm loving the series that they're doing. Volume 3 is now on pre-order, which is very cool. I'm going to go grab that very soon. This is Volume 2. There's the films it contains. French Sex Murders, Girl in Room 2A, and My Dear Killer. So these are less obscure, but they are all really cool films. 2 of them were on Mondo Macabro DVDs. One of them was on, I think, Blue Underground and maybe a Shameless in the UK. I think that's how it was. Or maybe a Shriek Show US DVD, something like that. But you get lovely Blu-rays here. The French Sex Murders. I love the art on that one. Probably reversible, which is probably what I did. Yes, they are reverse art, but I don't want to take the disc out. French Sex Murders. Italian audio, English subtitles. I think there's English. Yes, there's an English dub as well. So, yep, very cool. Girl in Room 2A, which I really enjoyed on the old Mondo DVD, so I'll check this one out again on Blue. Same deal, it is both English dub and Italian language with English subs. Very nice. And the pretty gritty, violent, sadistic My Dear Killer, more slash than giallo in a way. Yeah, good fun. This one again in the original language. With an English dub version and a different English version. Oh no, the English version is sourced from a tape, so I guess the English audio must be a bit sketchy for quality. But yeah, very cool and very, very nice box set. Like I said, very much enjoying these giallo sets that they're doing. Really nice to see the subgenre getting such luxurious love, as it were. And I'm going to get Volume 3, definitely. And the last thing we're going to look at today. Had this on my eBay watch list for, we'll call it years at this point. Comes up very irregularly when it does. It's in the $300 kind of range. It came up for $39.95 and free postage. I didn't even read the description. I just bought it and then read everything afterwards to make sure it was okay. Which it was. This is the incredibly hard to find Kurosawa Samurai Classics Volume 2 from Eastern Eye. I love my Eastern Eyes, and this is no exception. The hard box, 4 films, and you get, in this box, I'll start with the bottom, you get Rashomon, from what year is this? 1950. Obviously they're in Japanese with English subtitles, and Eastern Eye always did good prints, so this is quite old. This is like 2007 release, nearly 15 years old, 14, 15 years, but they still look really good. This one's in full screen, as is probably how it was shot. Throne of Blood, which is from, what year we have on this one? 1957, Toho film. Very nice. Upgrade from a X-Rental for me on that one, and Rashomon as well. Red Beard was the only one I had that was not an X-Rental. This one's shot in scope, and quite really well directed with some of those artistic shots you can see there on the back, making full use of the scope frame. That is from, what year? 1965. And this one is incredibly hard to find. I've never seen this one single release for sale. Apparently it was, but I've never seen it. So this is The Fencing Master. Not directed by Kurosawa, but he did write it. It was directed by Harumi Mizuho in 1962. So there you go. Yeah, never seen this one, and I'm pretty thankful to be able to get a copy of this to check it out. So very cool. Yeah, like I said, this is a stupidly rare set. There is a Volume 1. I would like to get the Volume 1. It is not as rare and has the more common films. You know, the more Seven Samurai, that kind of stuff. So I don't really need it as much. I've got them separately. But hey, if I find it for the right price, then I'll get it. That is my DVD and Blu-ray update for February. Hope you all enjoyed. And in the background, as I said, we are listening to Blood Freak. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.